Gentlemen,
Yeah.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves with this whole massage. You're not laying the groundwork for what's actually taking place
People
here.
watch the show. They go into a fucking massage parlor. There are two women there. They're massaging them. Tyler escorts them out of the room quietly, then sneaks around, gets on top of Hannah, starts massaging her.
This is one of my fantasies, okay?
Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Hey, Patrick.
How you doing, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good.
Fantasy Suite Week, boys. Say that 5 times fast.
Fantasy Sweet Week,
No,
boys.
you don't.
Fantasy Sweet Week, boys. Fantasy Sweet Week, boys. Fantasy Sweet Week, boys. Fantasy Sweet Week, boys.
Strong start.
It was hard to hit that K.
Yeah, no. It was hard to do the whole thing. We need to get into general thoughts before we get into all the hot, sexy love that we see this evening. So, Nick, general thoughts. Kidding, not going to you first. I'm going to Pat first. General thoughts, baby.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Unlike you guys, I think, because we talked off mic, of course, I don't want to get ahead of myself or give away what you guys are about to say in your general thoughts, but I like the episode better than you guys. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I have some controversial thoughts later on in the episode.
What?
That's probably going to get us in trouble.
Okay.
In my opinion, Pat, the only way we get in trouble is if we're not ourselves. You have to speak your truth.
Thank you,
I don't know about that. Anyways, general thoughts, Nick.
Oh, what my general thoughts on this 2 hours of smut? I thought it was smut-filled, and I thought it was very smutty. Wow. Do better, ABC.
Yeah. The mouse doesn't have any, religious doctrine. He's just, id.
Oh, I don't know. The almighty dollar might be
true.
his
That's true.
his deity.
Oh, man. The green god. So anyways, my general thoughts, I didn't think it was that great of an episode. I mean, I thought the first two guys, it's fine. And then, Jed gets a little more entertaining. And when we get to Luke, I mean, the baby birdies in our Facebook group have been talking about what's a better payoff, the Colton fence jump or this. This is so much better. I mean, it's just so good. The lunacy that's pouring out of this young man's mouth for the last 5 minutes of this show is amazing. Can't wait to get there. We arrive in the cobblestone city of Crete.
No. We're in hell.
Oh.
Where Hannah is. Satan is taking her soul right now. She's had sex with multiple people on a TV show, and, well, according to her faith, yeah, she's burning alive right now.
Very, very heavy take out of the gate. So we
very
arrive
poignant
in
when he
the
said it.
cobblestone city of Crete, a magical place to fall in love. Pat?
Well, it is a lovely place. Hannah spends a lot of time talking about how wonderful the people are.
Do you have a murder rate statistic?
No, I have an unemployment rate statistic. Their average rate of unemployment is nearly 20%, and it's been that way for 15 years.
Yeah, Greece has gotten rocked pretty hard.
A lot of Europe is really upset about being connected with these fools because they basically sleep till noon,
Right.
go have a glass of wine, eat some bread, do some dancing on the street with an accordion playing,
Yeah.
go take a nap, maybe show up to work if there is a job, and then let the rest of Europe just pay for their enjoyment. That's how Europe feels about them.
Hey, if Pat hates anything, he hates a freeloader. Not a fan of a freeloader.
That's true.
Greece's lack of responsibility
Yeah.
as a country
Jesus Christ.
is actually very beneficial to the tourists. It's quite the arbitrage opportunity, hence why we're seeing ABC there. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful place that is desperate for any type of economy. So,
Right.
so the tourism is popping.
So, do we need to get straight to Peter, or do you guys have some stuff before he runs at her on a beach?
Oh, I have some thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. Hannah, at some point when she is walking through the lovely cobblestone streets of Greece, says that she is open to an engagement with all 4 of them at this point.
Not true.
What, she didn't say that? Or
No,
she's
she's lying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, she says it. And so here's my theory on that. If all the connections are pretty much equal, then none of the connections are real.
I think that's right. And maybe you can be torn between 2 people. Having equal feelings for 4 different people is a little, I don't know, polyamorously uncomfortable and disingenuous.
She's got to feel like a contestant on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire when you ask the audience and all 4 options come up 25%.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my, what do I do?
Outrageous. I'm going to just kill myself.
Or Meredith.
Or any of the phenomenal guest hosts that have graced the stage.
I cannot believe I knew Meredith. I don't know her last name.
How could you not know Meredith? Vieira. So, I thought it was funny that Hannah said Fantasy Suite is not about sex. It's about real raw time without cameras, which is true to a certain degree. But
That means sex without a condom.
Oh my God. That's so unbelievably. That's so unbelievably crass.
I thought he was going to say raw dog.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Same page.
So crass. No, but I get it, though. It's important time. You got to talk this stuff out.
No, there's a lot of double entendres happening during this episode if you caught it, right? I'm not to get ahead of myself, but I believe Peter said last night we really came together.
Yeah, we came at the same time.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
He said that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't written down somewhere, but Pat's getting us ahead of ourselves.
Sorry.
I have this theory that simultaneous orgasms are the most likely time you would conceive.
All right. Dude, that sounds like an unbelievable theory. The unfortunate part is that we're like 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the show. So if
Say it, Nick. Say it, Nick.
Can we talk about ABC's The Bachelor?
Right.
Is that what you meant?
Oh, I thought
No,
you said
he
we always
wanted
love to
you-
front load.
No, he wanted you to elaborate on that theory.
I mean, that pretty much summed it up pretty
Yeah.
succinctly. That was my elevator pitch for it.
So, if we could please, Peter is running at her on a beach. Pat?
He gets a full leg wraparound, which
Yeah.
means he's one out of 2 guys that I believe are still going to be around at this point.
Yeah. Should we talk about what we've learned about Peter this week, or do we want to save that?
I think it's in the Bachelor ether. I think we can
Okay.
discuss it.
So, why don't I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole because of how controversial it is. Also, I didn't really read any of it, so if you guys want to take the reins on this.
Okay, so the guy apparently had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Saying there's some texts that have been out there saying like, I want you to be out here. I miss you. I want to hang out every single day.
They want to move in with each other?
Yes, I love you. But they are broken up for 2 months when she finds out a friend had seen the list of the guys that were going to be contestants. This is 2 months out of a breakup that he is now on The Bachelor. And what it was is it kind of rubbed up right around the time of he just, like out of the blue, just dumped her.
Did he just dump her, or did they kind of like just not talk to one another because they weren't that serious?
He dumped her. They FaceTimed. He told her he just didn't want to do it anymore, and it was out of the blue for her. Like she was saying weeks prior, he was saying I love you. They started dating in June. Broke up in December. Bachelor filming started in March. He was talking to producers around that December time.
Wow.
I personally think it's a whole lot of nothing. I mean, they were dating for 6 months. He saw an opportunity. Yes, I think he did break up with her to go on the show.
Yeah, so I thought it was a little bit worse than that. It does, though, kind of strip away a couple of those innocent Pete layers, you know? He is a little bit more snaky in my eyes. He's going through the motions here with such enthusiasm and he's very, very genuine about the process, and I find it very off-putting and gross now.
Oh, he, like most guys, has got a carry-on bag full of bullshit.
Yeah.
Notice you like what I did there?
Yeah, because he's a pilot.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, no, he's full of shit. Nick Vile chimed in on this, and he put some thoughts out on there. He defended him.
Yeah, he agreed with me.
Basically, like, everybody breaks up with everybody before they get on a show. Come on, you think people are just completely single or not dating somebody, and they take like a 4-month break from relationships before they're going to go on TV? They don't know what they're signing up for.
Can you imagine Nick Vile's life right now? It's like Pauly Shore's life when he was starting to decline, but still getting a lot of girls. Like, I feel like that's what Nick Vile's life is like.
I love that take.
Yeah.
One thing I hate about Nick Vile, because he was great TV, I'll give that to him. Him sticking around in this universe is starting to get really sad, because like a year ago he said, like, I'm kind of done. I'm trying to step away and be something outside of this. No, Nick, come home to mama. This is all you got, dude. This is it. I've seen your acting. You could not act your way out of a wet paper bag. You're stiff as a fucking board. That ain't going to work out, right?
Yeah.
I've heard your podcast. You don't have an original thought. You suck at that. So just keep showing up here and being cute on TV, or they'll throw you a bone every once in a while. Maybe you'll be back in paradise next year.
Yeah.
I would like to take this opportunity, now that he is invested in the Bachelor world, to invite him on our show.
I
think he would
Nick,
be.
we'd love to have you.
We would
That
love.
would be great. We would absolutely
love to have you.
So,
and I gotta disagree, Pat, because I like his cynicism. I think he's pretty snarky and one of the most clever people amongst this Bachelor world. And I follow a fuck ton of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately is an operative word. All right, so let's get on the boat with Peter and Hannah. Guys, would you freaking believe it? We get a Titanic reenactment. I mean, I had no idea that was coming.
Me neither.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't they understand that the line that has replaced that when you go on the boat is, I am the captain now?
They don't. Evidently, the thing that pisses me off is I am the captain now is more romantic than what happened between Jack and Rose, and people are kind of like not seeing that, and that's why they're not saying it.
In Titanic, he could have lived. That board was big enough for both of them. He could have laid on top of her, or she could have laid on top of him. Nope. She lets him fucking freeze to death, and then she just pushes him away.
Jack getting on the board would have compromised her survival, and also he was a filthy street urchin. He was expendable. Okay, Rose is wealthy. She has something to offer the world, Patrick. Her and Billy Zane will procreate.
One time I put on push notifications every time Billy Zane posts.
Yeah.
And then when he posted, I would say, put a cork in it, Zane.
Right. Right.
Ben Stiller's famous line from Zoolander.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Zoolander too.
I said I was going to do it every time until he respond. And basically the third time he DM'd me and he was like, all right, I get it.
Getting back to the boat, while they're on the, while they're above deck, our other property is called Below Deck, another Below Deck podcast. While they're above deck, though, they're making out pretty hard. I mean, this is where you can clearly see that the mouse is hanging out somewhere. Patrick, why are you laughing?
We always reference the mouse.
He's probably back there, shouting commands at him, directing the scene. They're making out pretty goddamn hard, and there is a man coiling rope like 3 feet away from them. It was very, very uncomfortable. But yeah, it was, boring date for the most part.
This was smut light, as I like to call it.
So let's get to the night date.
Night date!
We should hit a clip here to start this here section off, right?
So we're sitting at it wasn't even was it a dinner? It was just like a couch or something with a coffee table in front of it.
Yeah.
They're not even doing dinner anymore.
It was stripped down. It was an acoustic set.
This is also getting so down to the wire. Like, I've got to let her know how I feel. Like, I can't lose Hannah at this point. Like, I've never met someone anywhere close to the type of person that she is. Like, damn.
I don't think he's into her. Just based on that, I don't think he's into her. I think he's just kind of playing this through, trying to work his way up to being the Bachelor.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem like he's aware of what he has to do, and he knows that if he doesn't do it, he's not going to progress further. Like, he's got to say, I love you. And the catalyst for this whole thing is like, when we were flying, I've never flown with anybody like you, and I can say now, after he talks in circles, that I love you. It takes like 5 minutes.
He very much like Jed have worked out kind of their beats a little bit and how it's
Yeah.
going to work out. And they think America and all the sorority girls watching this are going to fall in love with him based on how he lays this down.
It took too long. Very sad, but I'm starting to like Peter less and less as we see more and more of him.
Well, eventually he does drop the L-bomb, right?
Yeah, he does.
And here's a clip. That's how sad it was.
Whoa, what was that?
This
That
is
was
like
the
the
L-bomb.
secret sound.
Play it again. Is that like a? It's like a. What the heck was that?
Give me one more
One
time.
more time.
I feel like it doesn't really apply, but it sounds like shaking dice in a Yahtzee cup.
One time, and I was thinking like it's an empty Yahtzee cup like dropping.
Really?
Yeah, no joke, because it has that hollow plastic sound to it.
Well, I typed in sad fall to the floor
Right?
sound effect, and that's what came up.
Oh, great. So we have no answer.
Well, no, I don't. But my point is,
Yeah.
that was not an L-bomb.
No,
that
no,
had
no.
zero feeling. That had zero compassion.
You know what
His
it was?
heart is really not into it.
It was a Yahtzee cup getting dropped on the ground. That's what that was.
I think a better clip to play would have been those little those
Crackers.
white things.
Yeah.
You throw out the ground.
Yeah, poppers.
The-
well,
those were
he
L
doesn't need to
poppers.
go fight. That's a great term, but you don't need to go fight.
They're not called poppers. though.
That's a really good term, though. Listen, I just love that this moody nut is absolutely elated when she hears him say this. Absolutely elated. Yes, do you want to go back a little bit?
Just a little bit before we get to her response.
Yeah.
You mentioned how disingenuous it seemed. I'm gonna don the tinfoil cap. It's time.
Oh, God.
This is pretty much a segment now. Tinfoil cap time. It's a segment. I've only been more confident about a theory one time, and that was, of course, when I said I believe Luke P. rented that old lady to be his great grandmother.
Which turned out to be completely accurate. I can't believe that actually came true. You were 100% right about that.
The point is, here's my theory.
Yeah.
I believe Delta implemented Pete as a psyop, as a marketing ploy, and has written him a script of what to say, and all his boyish charm that seems to be so natural was actually scouted by this juggernaut of a government subsidized corporation that is dying.
Yeah, no, they're a big aerospace giant, and they are getting kind of chopped down at the knees. So I do think that maybe some innovative marketing person came in there and said, Taco Bell's working on a hotel. We need to start mixing up the way that we market our company. Why don't we embed our company values into a human being and put them on The Bachelorette? I don't think that that's wildly off. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Hey,
That's
guys.
why I said the only time I've been more confident was when I said Luke P. rented that old lady to be his great grandmother.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm sorry, guys. This may come off offensive. How much weed did you both smoke before we started this fucking thing?
Not that much.
Look into it, Pat.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like everyone's so dismissive. They're like, "Oh, are you high on pot right now?" Like, no, I just see between the lines. I just read between the lines. Okay, so we've got to move on with ABC's The Bachelorette.
All was Bachelor related.
We pick up the letter that Chris Harrison penned, probably at some pro-am away from his daughter, and they choose to go into the fantasy suite. Mm-hmm. So let's get to the fantasy suite. This windmill, I don't know if you guys think it's charming or romantic. I find it to be haunting and claustrophobic. I was not happy for them. I was worried about them.
Once again, may I bring this up? I'm always interested in how they set these things up with people eating. Like we've seen a lot of fantasy suites with chocolates out and cake and cheeses.
Right.
And I always say, this little lady ain't going to be having sex with you if she's pounding down
Gotta stop saying little lady.
Some cold cuts
Yeah.
or some cheese or something. This was real. She probably told the production oh, this is going down. Don't bother with the food. We're getting in here. I'm getting that date card by Harrison. I'm handing him the fuck key, and we're going in the boom boom room.
Yeah. So they had sex with each other.
And they bonded as one.
They had
That's the
sex
direct quote.
twice.
This was smut heavy. I referenced smut light earlier. This was disgusting. I guarantee you Mickey was over in the corner just like Tyree in the Mad Real World sketch from the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Just jerking it, night vision goggles on.
Right.
So after he says they took the relationship to the next level, then he like does this stupid thing, which I hate, which he does the mic drop or something.
Oh, did he do that?
Yeah, he was like,
Oh my God.
He said this competition's over, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter.
oh, yeah.
Peter.
Confident in his cock game.
Okay, so we need to move on to the next date. Who do we have?
Tyler C., the dancing fool.
Tyler Chill.
Chillest man on the block. What we know, given what we know about Peter and what we know about Jed and what we have seen from Luke all season, it's clear that Tyler Chill is the only stand-up gentleman left in this competition. We put a clip out last week. Said Tyler was too good for Hannah. Took a fair amount of heat over, a couple things about the video, but one thing really stuck and really weighed me down emotionally. I said that Tyler didn't have substance. I was wrong. Clearly wrong. He's a man chock full of it. He's a man of values.
I was struggling to fall asleep that night myself because I didn't step in, and I've always thought of him as more than a pretty face. Sure, just like she said, Greek god,
Right.
but he's got a lot of other qualities.
A heart. He's got a heart.
He's got heart
Yeah.
and rhythm.
I treated Tyler the way that people treated Elle Woods before she got her degree, judging a book by its cover. Tyler's going to be a brilliant lawyer one day. So they go and get massages.
Hey, sorry, guys. I don't want to interrupt your thought there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I want the audience to think something. This might get me in a little trouble. But did you notice Hannah's walking a little funny during the Tyler date?
Oh, my fucking God.
Are you saying Peter's got a huge wiener?
What I'm saying is Peter's got a fire hose down there. You know what I mean by that. I think she was working that off a little bit. You saw it, right, Nick?
Yeah, I did.
You saw it, right, Nick?
Yeah, I saw. You didn't see that, Dylan?
Oh, fuck you.
She was walking funny, and I
God.
thought it was because of Peter's big wiener.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. All right, so they go and get massages. I mean, if what Pete and Hannah did in the windmill was smut heavy, good God, what is this?
I was so disgusted. What was that position he was on?
So filthy. So erotic.
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves with this whole massage. You're not laying the groundwork for what's actually taking place
People
here.
watch the show. They go into a fucking massage parlor. There are two women there. They're massaging them. Tyler escorts them out of the room quietly, then sneaks around, gets on top of Hannah, starts massaging her.
Now, let me tell you something. When I was watching this with my wife,
Jesus.
this is one of my fantasies. Okay?
Tyler, see on top of you.
No. Just
Dylan,
this
too.
thing of like
Bada-bang.
getting a massage. You got the woman's hands up your asshole or whatever they're doing. They're rubbing you down. You got
Yeah.
oil all over you. And then you're with some girl that you're like into.
She said at one point later in their night date, she was like referring to his massage and this rub down. She was like, "Oh, I think you might have another career ahead of you." No, he doesn't. All right. If you go to any accredited, licensed massage therapist and you pull the kind of shit Tyler pulled on Hannah B,
You'll be killed.
you're going to be out on the street sitting on your ass, all right?
Yeah.
That is not tolerated. This is the type of shit that gives our industry a bad name,
Our industry.
the industry a bad name.
Yeah.
We're not all rub and tugs.
Weird.
They're not all rub and tugs. They give Bob Kraft handies, all right? This is to make people better and feel better. It's rehabilitation. It's a holistic take on wellness, and I don't like this.
Okay. Let's get to the night date.
Night date!
We talk a lot about Tyler, how much we like him, but sometimes he is a little bit icky.
Disagree.
When he sees her and he says, "How's my beautiful girl?" Like, you don't need to talk like that, though.
Well, hold on, Dylan. This is my biggest problem with this guy. Is
Yeah.
he's got a whole litany of just stupid platitudes.
He's got white boy swag.
Well, I was gonna say it's like he looked up what can I say to a girl to make her happy, and then he wrote them all down, and then he says them. I think I have a clip of this.
Hit us with that clip.
I look at the man I am today is not the same kid I was 9 weeks ago, and you've gotten me to open up so much, and I don't want this to end. I don't want to stop looking in your eyes. I don't want to stop seeing that smile. I don't want to stop hearing that laugh, like seeing those dimples. Like, I can stand here today and tell you, I do love you. I am so fallen for you, and you mean the world to me. And I would love to spend more time with you and just be us and enjoy this night under the stars here in Greece.
Oh, okay.
He dropped the L-bomb too.
You a little underwhelmed by it?
Yeah. You guys don't agree? Did he just, it's almost like they said, you have 1 minute, take a deep breath, and just throw out every platitude and ridiculous statement to get a girl to think that you are in love with her.
They're like, you.
All right, can I do it? Can I do it?
Yeah, sure.
Try to call. Hold on.
Oh.
I just when I look into your eyes, I see stars. I've never met a girl that I've ever seen that I feel this way about before. I can't wait to see. I see my children in your eyes.
So stupid.
I think that I want to die with you. It's stupid. He means none of this. Come on, do you guys agree?
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's like they're like, go in there and talk to her like you're coaching the Permian Panthers and really try and rile her up.
Do you guys know why all the Permian Panthers games were all so lopsided?
Because they only had one booby.
You step on my joke one more time, you son of a bitch.
So Hannah says that she has concerns about the physical connection overriding the emotional part and tells Tyler that she does not want to have sex. Goddamn motherfucking moron. She doesn't want to have sex. She just wants to talk to him. I don't care if you don't love him. You've got to ride that pipe. You've got to ride that pipe.
I agree.
Come on.
I agree.
Come on. You know you're never going to see him again. Ride the pipe.
Okay. Now, can I let the audience, can I pull the curtains back for the audience and let them know a little behind the mics, the lights?
Tears, fears, Jim.
I had laid this down for the host here prior to the show that the Luke thing, not to get ahead of myself, he essentially slut shames her at the end of the episode.
Yep.
And the way they film this show or these fantasy suites, we have no clue in what order they actually happen in.
Right.
Luke freaked her out so much that, in my opinion, Tyler was 2 days after the Luke date. And she was so freaked out because everything was leading up to her basically going like, hey, let's have some fun and go at it, Hannah. This is your time. This is your pass to basically see how intense these connections are. Fuck all of them. But Luke fucked her up, and I think the editing made it look like Tyler was before Luke, but I think Tyler was after the Luke controversy, and therefore that's why she didn't fuck him. I'm sorry. Now I will don a tinfoil hat.
I don't know. I feel like she would, if this was like retaliatory or as a result of what happened with Luke, I think it would go in the other way. I think she'd probably be like, fuck him. I'm going to have sex with this guy who's far more attractive than that little knuckle of a man.
I'm going to slide this definitely way below Luke P. renting an old person to play his great-grandmother and, of course, Delta implementing Peter as a psyop as a marketing ploy.
Yeah, Splinter Cell.
In conspiracy theories.
Right.
But that's just me. I do think part of the reason she didn't do it is because of perception, and part of the reason Peter, goober that he is, satisfied her, all right? She hadn't had sex probably for 6-8 months. I don't know. Seems like. She gets it twice. She doesn't need to do it. She's understanding at that point. She's thinking coherently. This will look really bad on national TV. Okay. So Tyler, just eat me out. Did you guys not think that was...
So he's walking away in the morning, and she gets emotional as you played in that clip. She feels like a fool for not riding that bull. But two...
play like Mario and ride those pipes. Pipe.
I think that she did have a very, very respectful evening with him, and I don't think that she likes him enough, and I think that it breaks her heart because he's such a good dude, and she saw the peak of that goodness the night before, and knowing that she's going to send him home, I think that she's really, really torn up about it.
Well, he's a good dude, but his dad was dying, and he decided to go on a reality
Totally.
TV show.
So we've got to get to Jed. And before we do, I just want to mention, it's a brief little ad. We're going to be launching another Handmaid's Tale podcast. It's going to cover, we're going to go back. I know that it's in the third season right now. We're going to go back to episode 1. Me, Nick, and Pat are going to watch and then just gab and goof about it. It's one of the most freaking unbelievably hilarious shows out there, and a lot of people have been asking, like,
Dude, I'm like, why are they wearing red everywhere?
yeah, but people have been like, why don't you guys do a podcast on Handmaid's Tale? It needs to be kind of like it needs the piss taken out of it. So that's what we're gonna do.
And another thing is, like, I like that we've been covering The Bachelor, which is super heavy, and I'm like emotionally invested.
Right.
And we're getting some like lighthearted subject material.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, the stakes aren't so fucking high. So look for that pretty goddamn soon. Another Handmaid's Tale, subscribe, rate, and review. So let's, another Handmaid's Tale podcast. Subscribe, rate, and review. So we're going to get to Jed now. This tiny little fucker is still upset. Pat, do your way.
That brief look of confusion just killed me. That was amazing.
Comedy's timing. So Hannah and Jed's date is intruding on a family barbecue. It's the worst date ever. Like, they sit down and they're grilled by people who live in Greece about their relationship. I love the mustached man drinking ouzo or grappa, whatever they're drinking. I don't know. I mean, that's the kind of man I'd like to sit in a Greek afternoon and have some grappa with. Regardless of what they're drinking, it is bolstering the Greek people at this table. They're being inquisitive, if not nosy. It's kind of bizarre that they have to kind of like take this seriously. Like, they're being pestered by people sitting to the right and left of them. They're Greek strangers.
Well, production intervention here. Like, let's rile Jed up, because we already know that Jed's pissed about the Luke thing. Which,
boy, did that work.
Oh, yes, it did. He had to pull her away from the table to speak alone. That
Yeah.
must have made the Greek people must have said, like, to the camera production people, like, did we not do a good job? They walked away from us.
What do you want from us? That was Greek. What do you want from us?
Yeah, no, I got it.
Nailed it, dude.
Nailed it. You nailed it. If we didn't all feel unanimously the same way about Jed,
Yeah.
I'd feel bad for him in this moment. Like,
Yeah.
so disrespectful of this Greek, which now Patrick says is a plant by production
Right.
to rile Jed up. I kind of like it, to be honest. I'm going to slide it above.
Oh, you can't list them, though, but it'll be high.
I can't remember the last one he did,
Right.
but my first two, of course, were Luke
Oh,
being renting
okay.
the old person to be his
Right.
great grandma, and of course
Yeah.
Peter being an implemented psyop. But
the Delta and
yeah.
aerospace. So let's talk about Luke, their conversation about Luke. This was so bizarre to me because, again, if we didn't hate Jed, I would say, hey, you're making some really good points. And I will say it, even though I hate Jed. They're not mutually exclusive. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you attracted to this guy? And she's like, she seems like she wants to say something that she can't say. Because she's like, how honest do you want me to be? And she seems like she's about to drop some kind of bomb. And then she just says, we have a great connection. And it like pitters out.
She says that. All right. So this is, by the way, for the audience, I know they watch the show, but for the podcast's sake, this is during the day date, but he doubles back at the night date with the same
Right.
same bullshit.
Yep.
All right. Her answer during the day is she's still trying to figure things out, and she leans heavily on it's a different kind of relationship, which we're all confused by.
Right.
That is what she
It's a
says.
platitude. It means nothing.
Yes, 100%. But we can all, I guess, surmise from this, and not to get ahead of myself, but she is hot dickmatized by Luke. It's a physical attraction that she cannot explain. It's what we've all kind of experienced. This person that, like, you know, they're treating you like shit. They're insane. They're horrible. They would not make a good father or a good wife, but you are so goddamn attracted to them that you cannot stop yourself from going off the rails.
I don't know. I don't mean to don a tinfoil cap or anything, but I don't think she's attracted to him at all.
She definitely, I think at this point, she's probably over it, but that's definitely the reason he's been around this long.
Not
and,
this.
And that's exactly, you're like trying to decipher some code she's trying to give Jed. What she's trying to say is their special connection is purely sexual. How honest do you want me to be? I want this guy's dick in me. I want to
Whoa, crass.
But he's being real. Can we speak openly? This is a safe space here.
Well, I was going to go a little even. I was going to go more deep state because I feel like the production's keeping him around, and I think that she's complicit in that. Like when she's with him on that date, she does not. When she's with Luke on that date, she does not want to be there.
Are you kidding me? During the date?
Oh man!
Oh, Dylan.
All right, I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're insane
wrong.
right now.
You're
are
wrong.
so wrong.
All right, okay, all right.
Hold on. I want to talk about this because I'm a passionate man. Let me say this.
Yeah.
I said this the last episode, and no one really on social medias have really agreed with good old Patty here, which was Hannah's plan the entire time was, I'm into Jed. I'm going to pick Jed. But I would love to have sex with at least 3 out of the 4 of these guys. That's her plan. That's her free pass. Plausible deniability. Women like to have sex just like the dudes do, but they need a reason. Okay? So this would have been her free pass. She wants to fuck Luke. She wanted to fuck Peter. And she definitely wants to F Jed. Tyler, he's a throwaway. He never deserved to actually make it till the final 4. Everyone loves him except for me. I think he's an idiot.
Pat, she knew she wasn't going to fuck Luke.
No.
She knew she wasn't going to fuck Luke.
Dylan, stop it. You and I are going to have a fight right now.
You think that she was going to fuck
best.
Luke after she left that goddamn cultish hometown?
Yes, they are making out. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
All right,
she said he's the best kisser that she's ever
All right,
had.
let's get to Jed's night date. Jesus Christ.
I think
Night date!
You've already told me that you think I'm wrong, and I'll eat that if I am wrong. There's no way to ever tell, so I'll say I'm right now.
you just end segments on Pat, you're wrong, and I just want the record to show that Pat, we're in.
The record's already that's on the record. Doesn't need to be stricken from the record.
I would like the record to reiterate it.
You don't need to bold and underline the record. It's fine. The Luke conversation does carry over into the evening, and she keeps telling Jed that the decision with Luke, the relationship with Luke, has no bearing on her relationship with him, which is just not true. Hannah, that's not true. That everyone's interconnected here. You would have to be concerned about Luke if you're a rational human being. I don't think that that's a good thing to say to put somebody at ease, because I don't think that he buys it at all.
Well, she starts that conversation off, if you remember, by saying she toasts and says, "Here's to being honest."
Yeah.
Which is...
Well, she does not like his honesty. I mean, he keeps pressing, and he does say some kind of deep cutting stuff. I mean, she asks him to be honest, and he's honest. He's like, I don't think that you're good at getting rid of things that are bad for you.
Yep.
I mean, this is not good behavior. And she doesn't she's not open to receiving that information. Maybe she's a little hot-headed because she's the Bachelorette. She's the one that's supposed to be asking the questions. But hey, don't laugh in his face. If you're trying to take this relationship seriously, why don't you hear him and have a conversation about it?
She gets very upset by him saying that, because I think the way she was receiving it was, you're questioning my character, which he was.
He was.
He was saying, if you're into this guy, well, as you said, or she said, basically you make bad decisions.
Right.
It's crazy. I think this is like another instance of us hating Jed, letting that cloud our judgment, because this is like a trailblazing thing. Earlier in the season, he said that whole thing, like, I was here for not the right reasons, but now I fall in love with you. We were all like, great move, never seen it before. In this instance, he's like asking about another relationship in a time, and he really digging in, and it turns out, I don't know, I feel like it's going to benefit him in the end.
They go into the fantasy suite. I don't know if they had sex or not. I think they probably did. The next morning, I'm looking at Jed in bed, and I'm thinking, even if he doesn't get picked, This is a happy camper. He probably got to have sex with the Bachelorette the night before. He's gotten to go on vacation. He's got a perceived bump in his doomed to fail music career. I mean, all in all, I think Jed's doing okay here.
I thought the way they set this fantasy suite up, which again, we have no idea what took place,
right,
was way better than. All right, think about it. Peters was in a lighthouse or something, or a windmill. That's gross.
Right. So much dust.
Tyler C was in a gross
Boat. Too rocky.
This was finally, true to form, a hotel room.
Yeah.
This should have been like, oh, this is the way it should be done.
Yep.
But we have no idea what happened.
Copy paste. That's all America needs. ABC. Okay. Okay. Can we get to Luke, please? Or do you have final thoughts on Ted? What's his name?
Jed.
Do you have final thoughts on Jed?
No, but I am going to go back to Tyler C a little bit. Have I made it clear? I think he just ate her out for 6 hours straight.
I know you didn't make the duration. You didn't. Let's get to Luke. This little fucker comes out, and Pat, you want to talk about the leg wraparound?
You got a full leg wraparound.
Big one. This little piece of shit. She seems very blah on him. They go to Santorini. It's an Instagram model's ideal backdrop. I think it's a boring date. They drink piss poor Prosecco. And did you guys want to fill in the rest?
Yeah, just the fact that you're grafting your own opinion on it that Patrick and I do not agree with.
And voice your opinion.
She was just in the ITMs, the OTFs, the
THs.
The THs. She was just glowing about him. His eyes. She was enthralled. She was, Patrick said it a number of times this season, dickmatized.
Dickmatized. Now, she says something really stupid here. I think it's when they're in the helicopter. She says he's at his best when he's just with me, not with other people. That's not how the world works, unfortunately. You start dating someone, one of the more, I guess, uncomfortable situations when you got to start hanging out with your different groups of friends.
Yeah.
You got to get along.
You can't date a bobcat.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You got to bring them around. They got to be able to make small talk and get along with people.
Yeah.
To say that he basically can only get along with people when he's just with her, that's fine if you the rest of the world is dead.
Right.
And it's like, what's that film that Will
Z
Smith
for
was in?
Zachariah.
Well, I was going to say, is it Legendary or Legend?
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. They'd get along well if that was the scenario.
And you tell me a sadder moment in film than when Will Smith has to choke Sam out because Sam wants to kill him? That is the saddest shit I've ever seen. The German Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the events leading up to it. What a courageous dog. What a very, very sad moment. So,
there's an alternate ending. How does I Am Legend end?
He holds a grenade and he blows himself up and somehow it kills all of the zombies. And then
there's
she
an
gets
alternate
away with her
ending,
son.
where he lives.
Yeah, fully produced one. Yeah, where he lives.
Yeah, but does the German Shepherd live?
No, the German Shepherd died to sacrifice itself for him.
Yep.
It's funny that we keep talking about this German Shepherd because the way Hannah described Luke, it sounded like how people describe their shitty, dangerous dogs.
Oh.
I he can't really be around other dogs.
He
but
has hip dysplasia.
He's an absolute sweetheart. No, he's not. He's a vicious, untrained animal.
Yeah.
You idiot. And it's because he's mirroring your personality, you shitty owner.
So yeah, they are charming enough on the cliffside. Pat, do you have
Well, I was going to say
thoughts on the date?
Oh, yeah. So the date goes extremely well. They have shots of them kissing. He's a lip sucker. Okay, I don't like this. I was never, when I was single and making out with a lot of broads, I was never a lip sucker. Like you suck onto a chick's lip and then you pull away and it's like.
Yeah,
she's into it apparently. She says he's the best kisser out of the four.
I like it.
And a lot of women have told me they will decide if they're going to have sex with a dude on how good they are kissing.
Yeah.
So that's a little telling. I don't know.
I think it's wise. Once again, I think she's repulsed by him. But anyways, let's get to the night date.
Night date.
I can't believe that this guy has walked through life dressed this poorly. I mean, he looks like a goddamn fucking 12-year-old going to cotillion. He just a white shirt, a white button-up shirt tucked into jeans. You fucking goof, you buffoon. It's 2019. Change.
That was 2018.
12.
It was 2012. So he says that he's honored that she chose him to be the one to knock
It was
off.
2008.
He says that he's honored that she tapped him to accompany her to knock off a bucket list item. Luke, I hate to break it to you, buddy. That's just how things worked out. the production schedule worked out that way. You got to go to Santori or whatever the
I don't practice Santorini. I don't got no crystal ball.
Yeah.
But Luke P is not gonna win this. I don't know. That's
At all. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
That's the best rhythm I've ever had.
That's committing. That's commitment right there.
Almost.
Do not play Sublime. Your fingers on the fader. I'm not liking that. Luke, he also goes like, and this is where it informs my opinion that she's not interested in him at all. Luke's like, it's so cute when you're talking about us. You just look me right in the eye and you get really close. You get so laser focused. And she's like, okay, let's toast to the evening because you're creeping me the fuck out. Yeah, exactly. Fucking psycho. Jesus Christ, this guy's crazy.
Mark and Fear, of course.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
We need to get to the craziest moment of the evening. I don't know what he's talking about here, but it is terrifying, ominous, and again, very unclear. Pat, hit us with the spiritual leader clip.
You brought up something on Hometowns, like you've been a spiritual leader in your household. That's something that I can totally relate to. I have been the spiritual leader in my household. You know how that is. It's not the easiest all the time. But I'm so ready to like make history in my family. I want to make sure that from now on, things are known how they're supposed to be.
Pat, why do you keep playing the hell noise?
I'm scared for her.
Yeah. Pat, if you could turn down the hell noise, though, really quickly, I'm scared for his entire fucking family. He's like, I want to make history with my family. I want to show them how things are supposed to be. What are you fucking talking about, you loon? And what does being a spiritual leader in that community look like? Like, how boisterous with your spirituality do you have to be the spiritual leader?
Have you seen Hereditary, Dylan?
Yes, of course. What about it?
Well, it's a cult.
Yep. Yeah.
Well,
And Luke wants to be Pieman.
oh, is that the demon that they brought back to life?
Yes, that's the demon. Nick, you wouldn't believe this movie. I really cherish the film. Upon watching it a second time, I don't find it as enthralling, but you really should give it a watch. It's a great film that culminates with in Toni Collette sawing her own throat through to
Now, that was a
decapitate.
piano wire.
Yeah, with piano wire.
I wouldn't call it a saw, more like choking herself or severing her head.
Sawed
She's
with a
sawing
piano
through
wire.
her neck with a piano wire. Why did you have to jump in there?
I apologize.
It's actually a great use of words because like saw is not something you'd normally associate with piano wire.
And people have
but
that-
it's so vivid, you understand. It's just a back and forth and a back and forth.
Apologize.
I apologize once again.
Rather than a slit or a slice, which would just like, just
People are often confused with what I say because I speak in poetry. And so stepping away from his insanity to more of his insanity, we need to talk about sex. This is the moment we've been leading
let's talk
up
about
to.
sex, baby.
Luke,
Let's talk about you and me.
Any more?
No, I was born in 1987. I don't know when that was from, but man, that just came out.
Yep, that's
1994.
That's an earworm. A lot of conviction on that date. I don't know if you're accurate or not.
That's kind of his thing.
So Luke's been reading Hebrews, which sounds like a hell of a book. And this kind of leads them into their conversation. Before we get to this clip, I want to talk about the preface that he sets up. He says, "You've had sex, I've had sex, but regardless, I'm saving myself for marriage." That doesn't make any goddamn sense, Luke. You've already had sex. So.
I think he's considering himself like a, what is it, the reborn?
Born again.
You're
Born
right,
again.
a born again.
I think that's the shtick.
You can't be a born again virgin. You can be a born again Christian. I guess these are the kind of mental gymnastics that these zealots play with themselves a lot of the time. He's a fucking moron.
Or a
Agreed.
liar if he says he's saving himself for marriage.
Yeah, he's lying.
Because as Patrick so beautifully illustrated last episode, he has been through bukkake parties.
Right. So after he like spits out this lunacy, he begins a 10-minute parade of idiotic contradictions. And, you know, we have a clip to set this whole thing up.
You do speak in poetry.
But at the same time, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. Like if you told me you're having sex or you had sex with one or multiple of these guys, I'd be wanting to go home. 100%. But if that's something you're not going through, then I'm just going to continue to grow the relationship and move on.
Like, Hannah rightly destroys him after this happens because who the fuck are you to tell me that? I would have hit him.
Dylan, I'm going to do something controversial here.
Yeah.
First off, let me preface what I'm about to say by saying that Luke is a piece of shit. He's a control freak, and everything that he is doing
Yeah.
is a act of control.
Yeah.
I've been a boyfriend when I was 19, and I didn't want my girlfriend then to have had sex with anybody.
I get it.
So that I got very angry.
I get it.
And then I demeaned her.
You're saying that it's not unreasonable to not want to be with someone that has had sex with 3 other dudes in a short span of time?
I think that's kind of my point. But let me put some layers on this.
Yeah.
This season, as a whole, has been a little different than other seasons. Let's think of Becca Kaufman's or Rachel Lindsay's. Kufrin or Rachel Lindsay's. The L-bomb on this particular season has been dropped very liberally. Everyone's saying it, and Hannah's accepting it very much. So each one of these dudes thinks he's the one because love is being dropped either way in some cases.
Yeah.
So would it be out of order for a person to say, hey, we're into each other. I have a problem with you having sex with the other people because you and I are saying we love each other to each other.
And there's no...
Especially when religion is involved and we're bonding on that.
Yeah,
is that
sure.
a crazy out of the box?
It's not a crazy out of the box thing if we're dealing with a different delivery of that sentiment. The way that he's delivering it, there is misogyny and control and a superiority over women baked into what he's saying to her. It's not a reasonable delivery or a reasonable place he's coming from. He's coming from a hive mind, brainwashed, stupid place. And religion has a big part to play in that.
Luke basically essentially slut shames her.
Yep.
Hey, if you're going to fuck other guys, I'm out of here. How dare you? Hey, Luke, do you remember episode 2 and 3 where you took your shirt off in a massage area where 19 of the guys were in the other room? You start making out with her, you lay her on a table, and who knows where that would have gone?
Yeah.
Oh, where was God then? Where was Jesus Christ?
Right.
Who died for your sins on the cross then?
Can we talk shit on Luke a little bit more? I just want to go back to when she accuses him. She's like, "You're judging me. So what if I want to sleep with people?" Luke walks it back, and he's like, "No, I wasn't just saying. I was just saying if you had sex with all of them, that's what would make me." No, that's not what you said. You fucking liar. You said if you had sex with one or all of them, I would not want to continue this relationship. So, do you genuinely mean that, you fucking liar?
No, he doesn't. That was what I've used the word control. He was putting his control on her, and when she pushed back, then he downgraded it to,
absolutely.
Well, I could accept it, but we'd have to talk about it and maybe I don't know, pray together or something.
Mm-hmm.
He just kept giving in to what she said. She's like, oh, what if I did this? What if I did that? What if all 3 of them, I'm going to do a Patrick thing where I go super, super far. What if all 3, Peter, Tyler, and
Jed,
gave me all 3 holes? All 3 holes.
Oh, cool.
What if they did that, Luke? And he'd be like, well, I really wouldn't like it, but I'd stick around.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely want this man to walk into the ocean and never come back.
I'm going back and forth on these two people.
Yeah.
She says something insane here after Luke does all this control freak stuff. She says, now I know you haven't shown those other guys respect, and now I see it. Oh, you know that now?
Right.
For 8 episodes, we've had multiple guys going to you and telling you, this guy's disrespectful, he's violent, he's manipulative, he's a fucking compulsive liar. Oh, now you know?
And what does this have to do?
Because he called you out
right.
on you having sex with. Now you know that he's just. No, Hannah, shut the fuck up.
Right.
You knew all along, but you wanted this guy. You were dickmatized by him. You wanted him. It was only after he fucking insulted you and slut shamed you that now you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You should have protected the other guys long before this, but you disrespected them for your own needs.
Yep.
Which is what whores do.
Oh, Patrick, that was so great up until the end.
Let me re-get it. And that's what girls that want to be on TV do.
Pat makes a great point. These guys have been telling you all season Luke P sucks. Why now do you believe them? Like, that doesn't...
What does it have to do with anything? It's ridiculous.
Everybody's on the same page.
Everybody's on the same goddamn page. And lastly, I just want to say, getting back to his bad acting, this last, when they're by the car, this last, I'm in a movie because it's raining, Hail Mary is really, really pathetic. He starts choking up and trying his best to manipulate her emotions. He is a horrendous human being. And I'm so excited to see more of him next week. That is the end of the episode. Guys, remember to jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Join us on Facebook at Another Bachelor Podcast. Patrick's on Instagram at Patrick Dude Show. And me and Nick are on Twitter at Dylan Pete Wren and Real Nick Davis. Do you want to plug anything else, Nick?
I mean, I'm kind of more all about my Instagram.
Yeah, the IG.
Yeah,
the IG.
Yeah.
Real Nick Davis.
Yeah. Although I am better on Twitter, I have to be honest.
I mean, the quips on Twitter are just, they're great. They're great.
Oh, well, thanks.
All right, that's it. We'll be back next week for the Men Tell All. Thanks for hanging in there with us. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
I actually have about 20 to 30 more minutes on the Luke P date. If we could backtrack.
If you could say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat.
Goodbye.